This is what was intended to be the first video that shows you the outside of the unit and the cover and the various buttons on the iPad, etc. So this is the cover that I have purchased to use on it. I really like it. You can buy another one or not use it if you want, but it makes it really easy to grab because this is leather and it also has some other benefits. So to open it up, this one has a clasp on the outside. It has a little piece of magnet in here, which when it's back on the back side will automatically fall into place. And so it's not flopping out there. And then to use it, you'd usually just flip it around like this so that you would have two layers and you can hold it quite stiffly and it won't fall out of your hands. Now, another advantage of this one is that it has various hinges in different places. So if you look at it from the inside, it's attached from here down. So that part doesn't move. But these parts will move these hinges in various ways so you can stand the thing up. So one way to stand it up is simply to flip it over like this and to put it in this little groove that's here, or you really don't have to put it in the groove. That's needs to be farther away so you can see it. So it's sitting up like that at an angle, but you will be looking at the screen sideways, so you have to get used to the fact that instead of the home button being at the bottom, it's going to be on the side. But that's pretty steady, so anytime you want to use it that way, just to let it sit so you can just look at a movie or something like that, you can do that. The other way that it will sit, this is a fairly steep angle. If you want a more shallow angle, then you have to, it always takes me a minute to figure out how to do this. Fold this back around like that, and then that's, I don't think that's it. That's one angle, but I don't think it's it. Let me try that again. Fold it this way. Hold on. I don't think that's it either. All right, well, it's going to take me a while to figure this out, so maybe I should just go on. I seldom use this, but it is very handy for certain things. This is not the right way, so it's not really stiff. It should be stiff. But when you've got it folded this way, my shape does not help here, or however it is, then you can use this when you've got the virtual keyboard down here much more easily if you really actually want to type. That's one thing that's good about this, if you can figure out the right way to do it. I have a link in the information that will take you to a page that shows it folded in the right direction. So normally it's going to be like this, and although this is upside down, the home button always goes at the bottom. That's this little slightly recessed button at the bottom. That's the only button on the entire face of the iPad. There is a little something up here I'll show you, but it's not on flat on the face. So, oh, you can also stand this vertically if you want to, sort of like that, just by moving the back pieces around to where you think, but it's not really stable. But I've done that sometimes when I want it like that, for instance. That'll stand, but you can't really poke on it and you can't really trust it, so you know, usually you won't be doing that. So before I get to the buttons, I want to show you the cord and the charger. And so what I'm going to be sending you is two different things. I'm not sure if you can see those. Let's see those. This one and this one. And both of these have the, at one end, have the 30-pin wide connector that the older iPads use. The newer iPads and the newer iPhones do not use these. And if you ever have to replace one of these, you'll probably just have to get it on eBay or something. But either one of them goes, this is the normal charging cord. You would just put this I think it shows on the top, there's a little thing that shows you which is the top. And you just put it in this little slot that's down here. I don't know if you can see that, but you'll see it when I put it in there. So there. And usually when you put it in, you'll hear it go blink, blink, which means that it's charging. I'm not sure. Oh, I know why it's not, because this end is not plugged in. So this is the other end. You can take this little piece out of this, what they call a brick, charging the, what is it called? Converter brick. But I wouldn't suggest that, because when I tried to do it before, I broke it. Just this part stuck on there and it wouldn't come out. So I just, just leave that in. There's no real reason to take it out. And then you would pull these little, the plug out just with your fingers like that and plug it into the wall. And then you would be able to charge your iPad. So normally the way you're going to do is just leave this plugged into the wall and plug this in and out whenever you want to charge it. This little thing comes out, but I can never remember what it's for. It's called a duck head when you take it out like that, because actually it kind of looks like a duck head, like that. I can't turn it the right direction. Anyway, you can just leave that on there. It's not necessary to take it off. And that's that one. Now, this one, I'm sending you this one too, because it was an extra one that I bought that theoretically gets retractable in this part, but the retractable part seems to be kind of broken. This one has the same thing that you would plug into the iPad, but on the other end, instead of having, something that will go into the wall, then you've got this USB port, and that you can plug into your computer if you want to use your computer's battery to either charge the iPad or just to run it separately or something like that. This cord may be able to do data transfer too. I believe the other one will not. And that would mean that you could plug this into your computer and you could physically move photos or something like that back and forth. But we don't actually know if this one will do data. So that would be up to you to find out. So then we have the cleaning the screen. You usually use a lint-free cloth, and that's what I'm going to send you. I just cut one apart here. That's what I do with mine at home. And then you can rub this fairly vigorously dry to just get all the little marks off, because there'll be a lot of little finger marks where you, especially in certain places where you've always slid your finger a lot or something like that. And there's some little tiny dots on there. All of these things can be cleaned off, but you don't want to press hard with anything except this, or there are some other special cleaning ones that you can buy. And also I wanted to mention that I did not put a plastic screen protector over the iPad like I do with my iPhones, because number one, this has very strong glass called Gorilla Glass. They've even made stronger glass now, but I was always using it but the Gorilla Glass is kind of hard to scratch. It's not that easy to scratch. And, you could drop it on something sharp and that would do it. But usually I always keep this closed. I never keep it open because it's so easy. And that way, if it drops, nothing is going to happen to the screen. So, I just always keep it closed. Okay, I have to turn to the next page here. So now for the physical buttons on the iPad. The first one is on the top, on the right-hand side. There's kind of a long switch right there. You can probably see it. There it is. And that is to power the iPad on or off. So you press it down and kind of hold, and then it will come up. Why isn't it showing? Oh, it went right off. There. And usually, now I'm going to power it off. Usually you can power it on also just by hitting the home button. The other thing that you might, and this will go off in a second if you don't click this little slide to unlock and put in your passcode every time. The other thing that you would use this power button, well, there are two other things you'd use the power button for. One is, and it's both of them are, no. If you just hold this down for a long time, for like, it seems like 15 seconds or so, then you'll get a little Apple symbol in the center, and that will mean that you are actually powering the thing off completely. It's not in sleep mode anymore, which is where I leave it almost all the time. And then sometimes you need to do that if something is just not working right, whatever, sometimes that will cure it. Otherwise, you'll just use the button quickly to power the screen on, or use the home button to power the screen on. And to start it over again after you've put it into power off mode, you do the same thing in reverse. You hold down for a fairly long time until you see the Apple symbol appear, and then it'll go through a few things and it'll start over. The other thing that you can use it for is screenshots. So if you've got something on your screen that you want to take a picture of, you press both the home button and the power button at the same time. It's just quick. I mean, like this. That's all. Whoops. It took a picture of a blank screen. You can hear a little sound, and that picture will go into your photos, your all photos album. So the next thing is the earphone jack, also on the top. It's right on this side, on the left side, whereas the power button's on the right of the top. And on the right edge, you have up at the top, you have two things. This is the power, it's a rocker switch, so you would just press it down or press it up to turn the volume up or down if you're going to do it physically. There's another way to do it on the screen, but I use this one most of the time. There's another little slider switch up here at the top, and I virtually never change that. It's right now, it's set on mute. You can set it, which doesn't really mean anything. You can set it on the other, press it, turn it in the other direction, and that puts it in, lock rotation. So that means if you're looking at something and you want it to keep the rotation, normally if you turn the iPad, the image will automatically turn. But if you want it not to do that, then you can temporarily put this, press this, or not press, but slide this switch up here at top, this slide switch. Now, the charging port, I showed you that before. That's down here at the bottom where you put in your plugs and stuff. Let's see. And there are two cameras on this iPad. One is I forget how they call it. This is the front one and that is the back one. I think it's the other way around. It's where this is the one that would take a picture of you. And this one, if it's uncovered, because this, you'd have to uncover it because it would normally be behind the cover if you kept it closed. So if you want to use this as a camera, you know, in the normal way where you're pointing it at something, you have to make sure that that is open. So that's your other camera. The front camera, okay, I've got this written down. The front camera on the front side of the iPad, it's actually underneath the glass so you don't feel anything. But if you look, you can see there's a little tiny dot there. So this is the back camera. The front camera is not as high a quality as the regular ordinary back camera. So in other words, if you're doing FaceTime or something, the camera that's taking your picture would not be as good as if you went out and pointed your iPad at, you know, a scene or something and used that camera. This is the first iPad that came with what they're calling Retina Display, and that's it was any tablet or phone, any brand. It has incredible clarity and sharpness compared to all the ones that came before it, and even the other brands until recently. Inside, there's also some things called a gyroscope, an accelerometer, and a magnetometer. And those things will allow you to do things like shake to undo the last motion, which I almost never use. If you use the compass app, that will be dealing with the the magnetometer probably, and various other apps will use those. Some of the health apps will use those and things like that. I sure hope I'm recording all this time. Yes, it's 15 minutes. I hope that will not be too long for the recording, because I want to do one more thing. So there are gestures, various gestures, because you don't have, okay, so first you have to slide to unlock. It little says that down there. And then you put in your passcode just by touching the numbers, in case anybody sees this. And there you have it open to the last thing you had open. Now, if you want to, usually to go back to the home screen, which you'll be doing a lot, you can either press the home button down here, and that will take you back, or you can, let's go to something else, go back there, or you can use a gesture. And especially if you don't want to poke on your home button as often, because that's usually the thing that gives out after a number of years, you do what they call a 4 to 5 finger, not swipe, pinch. So in other words, you take your hand like this really big and firmly go like that. And that will bring you, that did not bring me there. That brought me to the home page. I'm at a fairly awkward angle here, so this will work if you're trying to do it. The other gestures you can use is you can see open the apps that you have open by using the app switcher. And there are two ways to get there. One is that you double click on the home screen, and there you have all of the apps that you have open, so that you can check them out. If you want to close one, you simply start in about the middle and fairly firmly flick it up, and it's gone. Here's another one. I'm going to close that one. Now, another way that you can get there is to swipe up with 4 or 5 fingers. Let's try that. There. That got me to the same place, to this thing called the app switcher. Now, whichever of these is called a switcher, because if you want to switch from where we were, which was Safari, the browser, to the calendar, you open it like that and then just tap that, and then you would be there. You can also, well, I'm not even going to tell you that because it's complicated and you'll probably never use it. So here you are. Let's go back to Safari, because this thing I'm about to show you won't work in every single app. And why it came up on this, I have no idea. Let's just go to Bing. Okay, so let's pick a picture here. Oh, that's a lovely one, guns. I don't think I want to look at that one. Anyway, on many of these things, you can, well, obviously not that. Let's try just going to a page here. You can pinch to make it smaller, or in this case, you can go back to that, which I didn't even know about, or you spread your fingers to make it larger. And sometimes it'll only go to a certain size unless you keep holding it like that. And a lot of times if you're on a page like the Huffington Post, let me go back there and see if I can get there. You want to double click on, how do I get back to the bookmarks? No, I don't want you. Go away, whatever you are. Go away. I don't want you. I'm just going to close it because I don't know how to get out of that. So let's open Safari again. In order to do that, I have to go back to this page, but I don't want to come up on that same. See, I wanted to get rid of that thing and it wouldn't go away. So I switched there to Facebook. And so Facebook is another one that I can do that to if I can't read something. So if you've opened more than one page inside like Facebook, all you have to do is do this to go back and forth between the pages. But obviously I haven't opened anything up there. But I did want to get to, this is the bookmarks. I don't know if you have any bookmarks yet. That's going to be a problem. Yeah, see, there's nothing listed here. So normally you could get to those and then you could do something like go to Huffington Post, which I'm going to put this in because I know it'll work there. Oh, somehow I think I went to the wrong thing. No, I don't really want to go there. Something happened. Let's close it again. Okay. I wish that I could do this in segments so I could stop and start, but I can't do that. They'll get broken up. So let me just tell you that if you're on a page where you have a whole bunch of like little stories or something like that, and you want to be able to see the main story that you're looking at without all the advertisements or other little stories on the other side, you just tap twice on that story and it will immediately open to fill pretty much the whole screen. That's what they call the mobile version, because on a mobile phone you don't want to be seeing all that stuff. You want to get the main picture, and that's the way that you do it on here. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to stop there and see if this even recorded. How do I? Oh, no, I want to stop up here.